What's up, Earthlings? Zube here. I had a bit of an exciting weekend. We went and saw Willie Nelson on Friday. Zeke was visiting, my boyfriend, who's usually in Colorado. Anyway, and then on Saturday, we went and saw my daughter in a band competition in Austin. We've just been all over the place. And then on Sunday, we saw a house we wanted to buy. We ended up putting a bid on it, and then I brought him to the airport, whatever, we're not getting the house. But anyway, we're just throwing out seeds for the universe. I can't imagine how awesome the house that is meant for us is, because this house was pretty fucking awesome. Anyway, there's just stuff. I want to talk about astrology for just a second, or as long as I feel like it, but Saturn is direct now. Saturn was direct on October yesterday, the 10th, I believe. And Pluto went direct on October 6th. That's kind of big energy. And, so when the planet turns direct, it means the energies or the lessons or what the archetypal representations of what that planet wants us to learn is moved outward. The experience is moved outside. When it's retrograde, it's more of an inner journey. Saturn is about, it is like authority, our own inner authority, our integrity. When Saturn comes out of retrograde, he can dole out karma, so there could be something in your life, and this would be specific to your chart. If you're interested in a reading, my information is down below, but specific to your chart. But in general, you might start experiencing things that you've been working hard for come in. Okay, because when Saturn is in retrograde, that might be like withheld for a little bit. And then also, if you've been getting away with shit, you might not get away with it anymore. And you might get in trouble for it, even because it's karma. And Pluto is about power and control, but those are two big ones. We still have Mercury in retrograde. We've got the Sun, Mars, and Mercury all in Libra. Oh, tomorrow, which if you're watching this today is the 11th, tomorrow is the 12th. So tomorrow, if you're in the US, earlier through the day might be a little bit tough. Actually, the next few days might be emotionally tough. The moon is in Capricorn at the moment, and the moon in Capricorn is kind of stoic, kind of somber. I have the moon in Capricorn, and we have a fucked up sense of humor, but I could be pretty damn stoic. So yeah, and it's going to square Chiron in Aries, and then Mercury, Mars, and the Sun all in Libra. That's interesting. And then the outlet, because it's going to create a T square, the outlet would be in Cancer. So we might overflow with emotions. Yeah, then I think the next couple of days may be like emotional purging, especially with the shift in energy. It's like we might finally let out some big, heavy, intensive, like contemplating or whatever that we've been doing about the structure in our lives, what we do, maybe what we do for work, if we're in a controlling relationship or a controlling work situation, or something like that. But anyway, it doesn't look like anybody else is really playing around with one another. All right, what do I want to talk about? So when Zeke was here, I was reading him my diary. All right, and so look, I found this from when I was a kid, and I think I was 11 when I wrote in it. And I was reading some of the entries to Zeke, and it's fucking hysterical, but it's not, because I always tell my kids, I'm like, I think adults try to make kids feel dumb about their problems, but adult problems are just as dumb as kids' problems, or adult kid problems are just as serious as adult problems. Adults are just bigger, whinier babies that can actually have more agency and do more shit when it comes to our problems than kids can. I just never want my kids to feel like, their problems are dumb or something like that. Anyway, so I was I was reading my diary, and it was funny, but I'm going to read an entry to you because it made me bawl. Especially because I've been going through a lot of shadow work, a lot of feelings of unworthiness. I'm looking inside a lot. Okay. So March 26th, I don't even know what year this would have been. So it might have been like 86. Dear diary, yippee skippy, literary genius. I love my bike. Okay, so yippee skippy, I love my bike. But phooey pooey, everybody always finds something wrong with everything new I get. First, some kids were saying my hair was uneven. I was ready to cry. I try to fit in, I really do, but no one will accept me. Mom told me my hair looks like that now because it's not used to being short. I felt better. Okay, I remember this day, like I fucking remember it. And this is what we're doing work to find, right? Are those little kid parts of ourselves that learn to, listen to me. I was 11 and I said, I try to fit in, I really do, but no one will accept me. And I spelled accept, EXCEPT. That's so cute. So I remember that day, my parents got me a new bike. I was the oldest of 4 kids. We didn't have a lot of money. And so I didn't even write this in the diary, but I remember that it was like all in one day, kids made fun of my bike and they made fun of my haircut. And I had gotten a really short haircut. And will you notice how long my hair is? I've never had, like, I cut my hair short one time in college after a bad breakup. And when I grew it out, it's been long ever since. Except when it started falling out when I was drinking too much. But anyway. Oh, life is such a fucking lifey thing. Anyway, these kids were making fun of my bike because it was an inexpensive brand. I don't remember what kind it was. And, so they made fun of that. And then they made fun of my haircut because my hair was short. And I had this like piece that was sticking out because my hair wasn't used to being short. And I just cried because I was like, oh my goodness, I still feel like that little girl sometimes, like I try to fit in. And I've done a lot of work in that area, and I've kind of accepted my awkwardness, because another thing about getting sober was realizing that I'm just awkward. And I don't even know if it's that I'm awkward because I'm sober, and I don't think so. I've always been really friendly. And I get along easily with people, and I always have. But I think when we're doing something, like when there's if I'm in class, or if I go to a party, or if I go somewhere where you have to mingle. I remember I worked for a politician 20 some years ago, and I was supposed to work the room, you know, I was a legislative aide, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how to work a room. Like, what are you talking about? Working a room is when you go around and you introduce yourself. I'm like, that's not my style. Anyway, um, but you know, this is the kind of stuff that shapes us when we get older, and then we wear that protective defense. You know, I think it's really funny that I've never had, you know, short hair like after college, and there is a reason for that. Also, for some reason, I wore glasses when I was a really little kid, and I mean, I started wearing them in third grade, I think. And I don't remember super getting made fun of for that, but I just remember feeling like a nerd, and I was kind of a nerd. So I don't even like to wear sunglasses now. I don't like glasses on my face, and I don't even own a pair. All I have are contacts, and I wear them all the time. If I don't have my contacts in, I'm blind. I'm like legally blind. But gosh, there's so much to dig into about you, and you don't have to have a diary. I thought that was funny, because especially since I was like, oh my god, like dumb kid stuff, and then I read that and I was like, holy shit, like that's, you know, something I'm working on actively now as a 46-year-old. It's just crazy. Yeah, and that there's like a part of me, I'm really trying to figure stuff out, you guys, like really trying to figure out, like, what do I want to do here, you know? Because I think I feel like I have really valuable things about my life to share. And it kind of bothers me a lot. Like, I'm one of those like la la la, you know, happy quote bullshit on Facebook, but that's like, I don't know, Facebook is Facebook, YouTube is YouTube. Like, I don't I don't want people to think though that I'm not without problems. Like, I've been having some really hard times, and very few people know about it. And I mean like sobbing kind of times. It's been rough. Um, and it's hard for me sometimes because how am I gonna work this out with you here right now? But um people will say like, oh my gosh, you look like you're doing so good. And that's because that's what I put on Facebook, because I also have this thing where I just don't want people in my shit. I don't want sympathy. I don't want advice. I don't want anything like that. Um, but I want to be authentic about my life, and that it's not perfect, you know, but I also want to show that the problems that I have now are new problems than the problems I had 4 years ago when I got sober, because I know a lot of people in recovery, and arguably these problems are better, but they're still problems, right? So like we have this like both things can be true, that I have had major shifts and accomplishments, and I still lay on the floor and cry in the fetal position. Not very often. It doesn't get that real, but um so yeah, I'm just kind of, I guess I'm struggling with my message a little bit. The interesting thing is that Saturn and Pluto are in the area of my chart that rule, called career, but also it's like reputation, how other people see you in the world. And so that's, to me, that's kind of why I've been doing this very deep internal process of like, what the fuck do I want to do? Like, what do I want to show people? Not in that, like, I have something to show you, because it's the biggest fucking thing for me is to say, here's what I found for me. Like, and maybe by sharing my process of that, it's not the details that matter. It's not the specifics of my situation that I'm showing. It's that I went on this journey inwards in meditation and all of that. And this is what I found. And here's what I do on a daily basis. Or like, here's what I do when this comes up. And I kind of feel like maybe that's what I want to do. But I just want to share that I'm trying to figure that out, because I'm also sort of like an organized freak, maybe. So there's that too. And then what I've been noticing is that most other astrologers have like a weekly astrology video where they'll do like Monday through Sunday, like the whole week of astrology. And I kind of liked the idea of having a daily one, but that way all the astrology is in one video and you can kind of, excuse me, I have a hiccup. You can look at that, and I can put up like time links or something, but that way all the astrology is in one place. So anyway, I've had a lot of stuff on my mind. But yeah, think about stories that happened to you when you were a little kid. I don't know, maybe if you have a box of old shit, like look through it and kind of and just see if anything comes up, and if you're like, wow, I still, like, I remember that and I can see how I still act that way. That's what was so crazy for me. Like the fitting in thing for me was huge. I never felt like I fit in, but I was always really friendly with like everybody. I don't think anybody didn't like me. I was also really fucking sensitive. I'm a Cancer, and so who knows if they truly like made fun of my bike, or if I was just like insecure. Stuff to think about. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day on Earth. Peace. Namaste.